Hello everyone, and welcome to Yoshi 1 Kenobi's Goblin Party deck for MTG Arena Standard. Now, the idea behind this deck comes from Christian Lopez, who told me, "Hey Yoshi 1 Kenobi, I'd like to have a standard deck list built around goblins." I said, that's quite interesting, so let's see what's out there. So if you take a look at all the cards that are related to goblins, you'll notice that there's an okay amount of them, but there's very few payoffs for goblins. There's Goblin Trashmaster, which gives other goblins +1/+1, and you get to sack a goblin to blow up an artifact. There's also Conspicuous Snoop, which allows you to cast goblin spells from the top of your library. And then I started looking at some of those goblins, and I realized that most of them also have a subtype. And because of that subtype's rogue, warrior, or, well, anything except cleric. We even have a goblin wizard. So because of these, we get to build a party of goblins. And that's what brought me to this deck idea, Goblin Party, which plays 5 goblins, which I think will satisfy the criteria of a goblin deck. Now let's look at the payoffs for this deck. We use party payoffs. So we use Grotag Bug-Catcher. That's our goblin warrior. That's a 1/2 and gets +1/+0 for each creature in your party. And since it's a warrior itself, it's a 2/2 while attacking, a 2/2 trample at base, and it can grow up to a 5/2 once you have a full party. And a 5/2 trample for 2 is pretty good. Along the same line, we play the Archpriest of Iona, whose power is equal to the number of creatures in your party, can become up to a 4/2 for 1. Also, at the beginning of combat, if you have full party, you get a creature +1/+1 and flying, which allows you to give evasion to your powerful 1-drop threats and bash your opponent. Then we play 2 squad commanders. If you get a full party, all your creatures get +1/+0 indestructible. You also summon tokens when it comes on the battlefield equal to the number of party creature types you have, as well as 3 copies of a Shatterskull Minotaur, which costs 1 less for each creature in your party. And if you have 2 creatures in your party, this is a 4 mana 5/4 haste, which is very reasonable. It's actually pretty strong. And sometimes you might even get to cast it for 3 on turn 3, where it's simply devastating. So these are the payoffs for playing party creatures into our deck. Then, since we're playing this 5/4 as a payoff, our Bug-Catcher and our Archpriest all have high power but low toughness, then we're playing Embercleave to just double up on that payoff. And we can Embercleave as early as turn 3 if we hit 1-drop, 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 which means we can hit with a Archpriest of Iona as a 4/3 double strike trample on turn 3 if we curve out perfectly. So Embercleave is quite scary in this deck. Let's see how we complete our party. We complete it with goblins. Conspicuous Snoop is actually Goblin Rogue. And because we're playing 5 goblins in our deck, means 20 goblin cards, so we have 1 chance out of 3 to have a goblin on top of our deck, which will allow us to cast it. And they all cost 1 or 2 mana, so we can cast them for very cheap, which also helps us to complete our party from the top of the deck. Quite good synergy there. Fissure Wizard is our wizard for the deck, for the tribe. It's also a goblin. We can find it with Conspicuous Snoop. Allows us to discard a card to draw a card, to adjust our top deck, adjust our hand. Fairly good overall. Then we have Sneaking Guide, a Goblin Rogue for 1, Fireblade Charger, a Goblin Warrior for 1. The Charger is decent. You can give it haste with the Embercleave in the late game. The Sneaking Guide has interesting combo potential with the Bug-Catcher, because the Bug-Catcher is a 1-powered creature before it attacks, which means that you can give it unblockable until end of turn, then you can attack with it, bring it to 4 or 5 power, drop an Embercleave on it, and it's an unblockable ton of damage. To wrap up our party, we have Kitesail Cleric, which is the second cleric we play in the deck. It also has a kicker ability, which means that we get to tap 2 creatures our opponent control. Since we go very wide with small creatures, tapping down opposing creatures is a very valuable effect to finish them off. And then to round up our list, we play a single copy of Kabira Takedown, Spikefield Hazard, and Shatterskull Smashing. Because they're lands, so they help us fix our mana in a bind, and they're also decent removal abilities to just round up the list. And this is the Goblin Party, using 5 goblins and the party mechanic, and it's really a party to play them. So let's see it in action with some games. We are playing Goblins Party on MTG Arena Standard against Ibon Pretor. We have a barely keepable hand, thanks to Kabira's Takedown, which will act as a plains. Not optimal, I would rather have an untapped plains, but you gotta play with the cards you're dealt. Alright, well let's go. Archpriest time! With a... that thing's Wizard, that thing's Cleric. Yeah, that's a Cleric. Let's go with Fireblade Charger. Against mono red. Goblin Arsonist. That's a bit of a pain. I don't really want to sack the Archpriest. I like the Archpriest. How about we play a Wizard? Try to get ourselves a land. That's convenient. So we get to play a Rogue, which means Archpriest of Iona is now a 5 power flyer. Then I'll pass the turn back. What does that thing do? Well, no, we have a full party and we actually have lethal with Embercleave, so we're not gonna black. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attack rate deals 1 damage to that player. Alright, that's nice. You know what else is nice? Embercleave. Embercleave the Archpriest with a full party with goblins. And that's how you demolish your opponent with a party made mostly out of goblins. And a cleric who told these goblins how to destroy your opponent in the righteous way, I guess. We are playing Goblins Party on MTG Arena Standard versus Leona. That seems like a decent hand. You have a rogue, a warrior, a cleric, and a payoff. Oh, he needs a second red source. That's untapped. For the turn 3 Shatterskull Minotaur. Ooh, and now we have a full party. Azorius Control. Is that really a deck that does not play Omnath? That's unthinkable, isn't it? Let's go wide. Esper. Esper Control. Timorette calls the dead. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, okay, Esper Doom. Okay, that makes sense now. Well, we have a turn 3 Shatterskull Minotaur. Let's swing. Are you gonna get a border wipe? Probably not, because their opponent made a zombie. Doom Foretold, which is alright. We'll sacrifice the Charger, because you already have another warrior. Can go Snoop, Archpriest. Might as well swing with the Minotaur. Opponent will lose the Doom Foretold. Oh, it triggers before the Timret. Alright. That's why you're playing Timret Calls the Dead. Bird of Meletus. Ah, Skyclave Shade. I no longer need this cleric. So we can go... Nothing can't block. So we can go Warrior Wizard. Have a full party. Attack for a lot. Or we can play the free Snoop. I think I'd rather have the full party though. Feels like a ton of damage. Yeah, discard Snoop for Snoop. Doesn't really matter. Your dude cannot block anyways. Sack the Shade. Good combo, I appreciate that. What I do not appreciate are border wipes. Don't you dare even think about it. Or removal. Removal is bad. Especially on the Archpriest of Iona, when we have a full party. I mean, the only thing we're missing is like a disco ball or something. Then we can go, everybody attack now! Do, 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 do. Ah. We no longer have a full party. Why did you have to kill my wizard? You can take the guide. Let's clear land. Clear Bug-Catcher. Red for Bug-Catcher. Maybe I should have kept double red open to cast the second Snoop. Shark Typhoon. There goes our priest. Passing the turn back. Yeah, that Mogius's Fever is gonna hurt. More Birds of Meletus. Meletus just keeps on getting rebirthed and rebirthed. Some Simulacrum. And you may have the Charger. Start with Snoop. Rogue Warrior Cleric. Free Rogue. Yeah, I don't really need to play that one right now. just trades with the Simulacrum, right? No. No attacks. There goes the Bird of Miletus. What a Simulacrum? Alright. It just has way too much value on board. I don't like it. But we are getting controlled pretty hard this game. I really should have cast the Mogus's Fever to get rid of our 1/1. Shatterskull! Time to shatter your skull. Hit you for some amount. Shark Typhoon for, yeah, 5. Here comes the big shark. The Papa Shark. Hit 2 for 2, I guess. Our path to victory is closing down fairly quickly. We need the opponent to do something like cast all the mana to draw a bunch of cards, and then we Kitesail Cleric, tap down the shark and the blocker, then swing for lethal with the Minotaur in the Snoop. Archpriest, because the Snoop's more valuable. Cast the Sneaky Guide. Play for white. Try it. Tap your stuff. Attack for lethal? What are the odds that that works? About 0%. Gonna give it a 5% chance. It's about what I thought. Well, the opponent has decided Doom Foretold on their turn, which I guess is something. And we have the Sneaky Guide. So if the opponent leaves the Shatterskull, then we can sneak and attack with a Cleric. Skyclade Shave comes back. Come on, you don't see it. Opponent is considering reviving all enchantments from the graveyard. The opponent didn't see it! The opponent didn't see it. We have lethal. We side the Shatterskull Minotaur to the Doom Foretold. We sneak the Kitesail Cleric past the army of blockers for lethal damage, and that's how you do it, by following the Goblin Sneaky Guide to victory. We're playing Goblin Party on MTG Arena Standard against W Burrito or WB White Black Rito, White Black Red Ito. This is a slightly odd hand. I guess we'll keep it. Gets pretty good if we hit a second red source. Oh, that thing enters tap. Oops. Base camp is suddenly a lot weaker than I imagined. Oh well. Grotag Bug-Catcher. here we go. Opponent's playing clovers. I'll swing for 2. And pass the turn back. Second clover. Here comes the Lovestruck. Bells. 3 of them to be exact. Fortunately, these things are not good red sources. Red, let's play the Snoop. We get a free Bug-Catcher out of the Snoop. Do you want to attack here? I don't think so. We're drawing another Bug-Catcher next turn. Can we outvalue clovers with a Snoop? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to it. The answer is no. We're playing against Omnat Clover. Yeah. Because who doesn't want to play Omnat? Here comes the 5/5. Well, maybe we can't outvalue you, but we will try. I think I'm playing too many planes. But in the meantime, let's play Shatterskull Minotaur. We have rogues, warriors, warrior. Yeah, let's attack with a Shatterskull only. I'll need to fix the mana base. Base camp doesn't do the trick. Escape from the wilds. And there's an Omnat. So you have one more good turn before we get blown to shenanigans. Blown to smithereens. Oh boy. Alright. Let's get to it. Maybe not for the sneak guide. Probably need that one. Yeah, if we had mana to cast the Embercleave here, we'd be in decent shape. Dang you. Play another Bug-Catcher. And pass the turn. Opponent's hard casting a Beanstalk Giant? Then playing the Edgewall Innkeeper. What are you up to, opponent? You had an Omnat. I don't understand. That just feels terrible. I'll tap both of your creatures with a Kitesail Cleric, and we will kill you, because now we have a Cleric. Well, that one's a hedge scratcher. I'm not sure why the opponent did not play Omnat with the triple clover in play, but we'll take the win. We'll fix our mana, and we'll come back even stronger. We are playing Goblins Party on MTG Arena Standard against Sir Jellybean, probably playing Knights. Jellybean Knights. Alright, we have Archpriest. Opponent goes first. which is a big hit, but we can't always go first. Playing land for white, followed by the Archpriest. Turn 2 is going to be Archpriest, turn 3 is going to be Fissure Wizard, then we're in a business. Oh, okay, opponent's playing Winota. The tribe of puppies. We shall not attack. Kind of hate trading an Archpriest for an Alpine Watchdog. I don't think we'll have much of a choice. Fissure Wizard, we need a land. Yeah, let's throw away the wizard. Let's pass on that. Winota. What does the dog fetch? What does the dog fetch? Alright, let's trade one of the Archpriests. Because that thing has vigilance, so they'll just block it anyways. Alright. Can play a warrior. Let's play Fireblade Charger. Opponent has nothing but humans. Might as well cast the Cleric. Have a backup Cleric. Watchdog. Opponent swings with the Seasoned Hollowblade. And Winota. Attempted to block, making you discard a card. Discarding a second Winota. That's good. That is excellent. That's what we were looking for. Now what? So you can attack with everything. Embercleave if the Watchdog blocks. Or we can Shatterskull and attack with everything. So the opponent has 9 power. They would need to hit a 4 powered attacker off of Winota, which is quite plausible. If we attack with everything, we can Embercleave the Archpriest. If we Sneaking Guide, we can float the Archpriest. I think the play is just to attack. And then Shatterskull Minotaur defensively. 7. Yeah, I think that's the play. So attack with everything. If the opponent blocks with the Watchdog, we Embercleave. And we're in good shape. If the opponent doesn't block with the Watchdog, then we play the Shatterskull Minotaur defensively. And pass the turn back. Opponent was thinking about playing some kind of removal spell. Here comes the deadly attack. Another Hollowblade, that's 10. I really want to kill the Watchdog, because that's the only thing that'll block on the swing back. Although you might have an Embercleave. Fight as one. That's 11. You're still short. opponent's really thinking about this one. Another fight as one? No. We live at 2. Well, I can scribe, but it's not gonna matter. The only thing that matters is, do you have removal? Because I have Embercleave. And Embercleave wins games. Including this one. Goblins, they're just better than Winota apparently. I'm playing Goblins Party on MTG Arena Standard against 6 Shot. 6 Hot. Yes. I think this is keepable. 3 Temple of Triumph turn 1. I think we play the Mountain. In case we draw an untapped land. Let's open up with a Charger. Opponent opened up with a Shatterskull Smashing, followed by a Force and a Brush Fire, which we cannot block. And we drew the second Mountain. So we want to play the Sneaking Guide. But we're not going to be able to. Okay. Yeah, that's another rogue though. I don't really want another rogue. Let's go with the Sneaky Guide. Hitting our opponent for 1, passing the turn back. This landfall deck is scary. They're playing creatures that are much stronger than ours. At the very least individually. Kitesail Charger. Pass the turn. The Kazandu Mammoth. Alright, Gilded Goose. That's not too threatening. Land is quite threatening. Well, I can afford to chump the Mammoth. Paying you for 1. Second Embercleave. Well, Embercleave doesn't help us very much. So we'll go with the Shatterskull Minotaur. Now we need to count. So that's 3 plus 5, that's 8. We're well alive. If there's a Fabled Passage, you add 4 to that. Well, it's easier to count. 4 plus 4 plus 4, we'd live with 1. So let's go for it. For some reason the opponent didn't block with the Goose. Which is quite surprising. Land Embercleave kills us. But there's nothing we can do against that. Our best odd is to counterattack with an Embercleave. Embercleave really is the solution to all aggro's problems. That and attacking with Gilded Geese. No land drop. That's disappointing. Gemraiser. Alright, do we have shenanigans? I don't think so. I think we just attack with everything. We clearly have the Embercleave. I don't think our opponent can play around it. Believe in the cleave on the Shatterskull Minotaur. You have the Shatterskull the Hammer Pass. We have Shatterskull the Minotaur. And that's enough for game. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the Yoshi icon at the right of your screen. It doesn't cost you any mana, and it greatly helps to support this channel and keep the awesome videos coming.